last time of the Tales from Tenrei. As the Celestial Confluence continues to unfold, the helping hands immerse themselves in the vibrant spectacle of the festival. On the 5th day, they traversed the bustling cosmic market where Furiosa impressively secured 3rd place in a competitive mercantile match, while Lynx forges a vital black market connection for firearms. The following day, amid the excitement of the Flowball tournament, the group engages in casual conversation with dock workers, who reveal that the gathering of sailors for storytelling competition in the evening of the 9th day will be their best opportunity to find captains with suitable ships for their journey. Their skills shine through as they triumph in the Flowball tournament, claiming victory and taking home a pair of extraordinary globes. As the 7th day dawns, the focus shifts to a discussion on sustainable practices in nature conservation through the charted. What strategic decisions and exciting revelations will emerge as they continue their journey through the festival? What fanciful tales of daring do are in store for them on the night of the 9th day of the festival? Will they uncover the resources and connections needed to navigate the lawless tumult? Find out on the 4th and final holiday episode of the Tales from Tenrei.
The only real thing of interest here, and I'm sorry if I'm pushing us through, but this is the last. I'm making sure that this is the last episode of this festival, so we are going to get through the remaining days here. The only thing really of interest on today is the fortune teller. Amongst the clouds of fragrant spices and strange textiles being hawked, there is right beside a beholder who has a shop set up trying to make a traditional beholder snack, which is just some sort of cotton floss or candy floss of some sort. He's having a time of it. Not being someone who has hands, he's attempting to use a mage hand to get this done, and it's really just turned into a floating ball of sticky candy. As you guys are enjoying the sight of this, you notice a mysterious flapping in the... It's not really an alley, but it's sort of like a funneled off corner of the area that is cordoned off for these cultural festivities. So kind of out of the way, but not blocked off. And somebody comes sauntering out of this strange tent covered in all sorts of occult runes. He's muttering to himself and looking down at a card of some sort. He's like, what does it mean? What could it possibly mean? He sort of shuffles past you guys and on into the crowd. And at that point, a woman comes out from the tent and pins the flap open. She has 2 ravens sitting on her shoulders. She's got a very witchy bitch look to her. She's clearly got some sort of celestial ancestry of some sort. You know an Aasimar when you see them.
She's clearly got some daddy issues.
Somewhere along her genetic line, a god fucked someone.
As gods are wont to do.
She locks eyes with one of your rank and sort of points her finger out and twists it towards you. Come, see your fortune read. Sorry, come, see your fortune read. Only a single gold.
Oh, I want to do that.
Absolutely.
You enter her tent, which is completely unfurnished. No, in front of her there's a table. A crystal ball hovers over it, and beneath there is a deck of tarot cards laid out. She waves and the crystal ball floats up and starts casting this multicolored light everywhere. She says, only a single gold for your fortunes read, or for 100 gold, I can delve deep into the mystic arcane and give you not only the story of your future, but a piece of it.
Yeah, okay, I'm doing it. I'm gonna get swindled.
You had me at 100 gold. Then I'm gonna pop a mushroom in my mouth.
She pulls a card from the deck, lays it in front of her. The Emperor.
Is it upright or not? Or reverse?
It is upright. The Emperor, upright. It's all about control when it comes to the Emperor. Authority, regulation, organization, even a sense of fatherliness. Somebody such as yourself with the Emperor, I would have to see. I see rigidity, following of a creed of rules, perhaps even some sort of tyrannical figure in your past lorded their power, took away your free will, and forced you to perform
Jinx
actions.
immediately says this is bullshit and stomps off.
Well, wait, just a moment. And she flicks the card at you, and she doesn't want you to just waste your 100 gold. She flicks the card at you, and you have received the Emperor card. It does a thing if you use it. Who's next? Who's next?
I'll go.
Step right up. Would you like your fortune read, or would you like me to give you a piece of your future? Perhaps a piece of your past. Maybe even a piece of your present. She spreads out the cards and has you flip one over. Oh, very interesting. Especially after the last one that I drew, the Empress.
Oh, interesting.
She stands for a deep embedding of femininity, the association with fertility, with nature, creativity, expression, a sort of matronly protection for those that she cares for. There is a happiness in the connection, her connection with the natural world, the natural order. I'm sensing that perhaps you, in the past, were from some sort of society, some place where things were self-contained, and yet somehow you set out from outside of this container and found balance within the world. Ahead of you, I see a great imbalance presenting itself, but you and those you care about are able to stabilize it, to return the loop back to one of self-contained stability. And she hands you the Empress card. Who will be the next brave soul? She spreads the cards out before you and has you draw one. You draw the Magician. Yes, the Magician. Very interesting indeed, all of you. There's a lot of major arcana coming up today. This Magician, especially in his upright position, is power, a connection with the elements, with potential, with the untapped ability that lays latent both in oneself and in the world around them. The Magician is able to harness that energy, cultivate it, and put it towards their desires, able to shape it with their will. He, connected with the astral sea at large and the ground beneath him, is able to be a conduit between these two worlds. I see in your future a connection between not just the future and the past, but between this world and the one beyond. Some sort of bridge between a time, a place, a universe lost long ago, and the powerful forces that destroyed what was, and that have since faded into obscurity, into what is. Another major arcana, the moon. Ah, the moon! How fitting moon can symbolize the imagination, the world within, the way that it forms your inner life into something to be admired and striven towards, to walk towards that goal. On the other side, the dark side of the moon, the scary paths, the unseen twists and turns within the night, a new moon can symbolize the losing of one's way within the dark, despite having this large goal before them in the heavens. They are unable to see their way, as it does not cast any illumination on them. I see that you have some sort of grand celestial goal, some sort of guiding beacon before you that refuses to light the path. Ahead of you, there is a moment when the light of the moon will begin to peek through the clouds and all shall be illuminated, and it is only then, not before, that the path that you seek will be revealed to you. Until then, you cannot but stumble through the darkness and hope that you find the way. She spreads out and draws a card. It is death. This, we all fear it. Even those with the longest of lives fear death. But this process, this force of nature is misunderstood. While many people avoid mentioning death, and indeed the card that represents it, its power not just in the mortal world, but in the realm of the metaphysical, the metaphorical. The literary power of death is as great as the physical power of death. But the real meaning, the real power of death is to make way for the next phase, the rebirth, the clearing of the brush so that a new forest may grow. I see somewhere, it's hard to tell, I see in your past that there was a long period of contentment, of stagnation, until this card, Death, was able to make way for an entirely new life, leaving behind every last trace of the one before you, forging headlong into what comes next, without the ability to ever go back. This is the meaning of death. This is the possibilities of the next cycle. Ahead of you, I see that the culmination of this new journey shall culminate in the start of yet another cycle, one that you cannot possibly be prepared for, but one that you are, or that you will be entirely equipped to handle, whether you know it or not. And she flicks the card at you. I have spent all of my psychic abilities. You must go now. I must recharge. And she fake flounces on her chair, sort of shoos you away as her birds. Caw! It's the time that you guys have been wanting. It is the evening of the 9th day. It's story time. Gathered around are several people, many of them traveling the astral sea sort of person. There's only a few of them that I've prepared stories for. This is also a competition. The one who tells the best story wins a prize, but this is also, coincidentally, for some random reason, the place where your best bet of finding somebody who has a ship capable of taking you, has a ship capable and is willing to take you through the tumult would be. Do any of you guys want to tell a story?
No, I'm bad at this.
I'm gonna have to think first, before the telling of the story.
That's fine. I'll go first with one.
I'll tell a story, but just roll for it and tell what it's about.
The first guy pipes up. Well, the first vignette that we focus on, there are a bunch of people here, but is a half-elven Appalachian, shall we say, sort of look about him. Goes by the name of Jeb Moore.
Jeb. Ding 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 ding.
The last person who was telling the story finishes their tale of hauling a long haul, guarding of very important dignitaries from the corporate alliance. And, when they're done, Jeb slaps his leg and says, "Well, that's mighty wise words from our esteemed captain. Ain't got nothing so profound to offer, but I've got a rip-roaring story that'll take your fancy. make you question every shadow you ever done saw in space. As a frequent traveler in the vast cosmos of wild space, I heard whispers of things that go bump in the cosmos. You see, I'm something of a naturalist, you might say, and the lights seem to dim even further as he leans in over the fire, his face shadows peeling away as the illumination hits his eyes, gleaming with a puckish look. In my younger days, I had something of a fascination with critters, what might be the sole property of tall tales. And one such tale had caught my ear about a creature called the stellar wisp. A cryptid so elusive that even the most seasoned spacefarers dismissed it as fanciful superstition. Well, on this particular day that is the focus of this here story, I found myself aboard a fine ship called the Flitting Leaf. One night, while we were sailing through an uncharted sector adorned by twinkling stars and scarlet nebulas, our crew decided to camp under the open sky of space. We anchored near a small asteroid and settled in for the night. Fires were burning, laughter filled the air, and that's when old Thaddeus, ship's navigator, pulled us all in closer with a conspiratorial grin. He spoke of the stellar wisp, said it to be a spirit of light that danced among the stars, luring lost travelers deeper into the void before vanishing without a trace. And he looks around to see if anybody's getting a rise out of this. Noticing that several of the people here are listening raptly, he smirks to himself with a half-toothed smile. Well, brought chills to my spine, but got me itching to see if there was any truth to this legend. Well, when you know it, just as the stories reach their peak and the stars twinkle like pearls scattered on a velvet cloth, a soft glow began to waver at the edge of our vision. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, but there it was, a shimmering, ethereal figure gliding through the darkness, swirling with rainbow colors of blue and green. It flickered like a lantern in the fog. My heart raced. The crew fell silent, breathing in the spectacle before us. The wisp twirled and darted, illuminating our ship and surrounding the void like fireworks, coaxing us to follow. For a heartbeat, I felt a strange pull, like an unseen thread tugging at the very soul, calling me deeper into the night. Just as quickly as it appeared, the spell of wisp danced away, flitting onto the expanse, leaving us with nothing but the coolness and the afterglow of wonder. It left us all questioning our sanity and the truth behind old Thad's tale. That night lit my fuse all over again and drove me to keep up the business of cryptid hunting. Some legends live on because they're born from kernels of truth, sparking wonder and filling our hearts with magic of the unknown. To this day, every time I look out to the astral scene, he casts his hand upwards. I keep my eyes peeled, hoping to catch another glimpse of that wisp, dancing and whispering secrets of the universe to those brave enough to believe. Who thinks that they could top Jeb's tale of a strange cryptid?
I got GPT to do one for me.
All right, let's hear it.
Hell yeah.
So Tycho sits down next to the fire, loosens one of the firework tops, sprinkles a little of the colored powder over the fire so that it flares up. Legend of the Star Riders goes a little something like this. The vast emptiness of space, beyond the reach of the Federation and the law, was a group of outlaws known as the Star Riders. They weren't your typical bandits, they were space cowboys, riding through the galaxy on ships that looked like old western cattle rustlers' wagons, with thrusters and blasters. Led by a grizzled cowboy named Rax Iron Spurs McCade, they roamed the stars, making a name for themselves as both feared and respected. Rax had a reputation. He never missed a shot, whether it was with his laser pistols or his trusty custom-built rifle. His ship, Dusty Trail, was a patched-together spacefaring beast of a vessel. It could outrun and outfight anything in the galaxy. Its crew, you ask? A colorful mix of misfits. Juno, the sharpshooter with deadly aim. Cass, the ace pilot with a quick smile and quicker reflexes. Brody, the tech expert who could hack into any system, even a starship's AI. Star Riders weren't after riches, they lived for the thrill of the chase. Spent their days bounty hunting, rescuing those in need, and occasionally stealing from corrupt corporations that ran wild across the stars. They had their code: never harm the innocent, always stand by your crew, and always keep moving. One day, they caught wind of a big score, a valuable shipment of fuel crystals bound for a distant mining colony, heavily guarded by the Federation. The kind of cargo that could make or break an entire planet's economy. It was a dangerous job, but Rax saw it as a challenge. Test to see if they were still the fastest guns in the galaxy. They tracked the convoy for days, staying out of sight, hiding behind asteroid belts and dark moons. The time came. Cass piloted the dusty trail right into the path of the convoy, engaging in a daring dogfight with the Federation control ships. Meanwhile, Juno picked off the guards in the shadows while Brody hacked the convoy's defense systems to keep them up and give them the upper hand. Battle raged through the stars, lasers flashing like old West gunfights in the wide open sky. Rax led the charge, his laser pistols blazing as he took down enemy after enemy, but just seemed like victory was in their grasp. The Federation battleship appeared, its massive form blocking the escape route. The dusty trail battered, and the crew on the brink of being surrounded, Rax made a split-second decision. He activated the ship's old experimental warp drive, a risky maneuver that could either take them to safety or rip them apart. The roar of the engines and a burst of light, the ship disappeared into the void, narrowly escaping the Federation's grasp. It won, but not without sacrifice. The dusty trail was damaged. They were forced to lay low in a forgotten corner of the galaxy. As they repaired their ship, shared a round of drinks under the stars, they knew they were still the best at what they did. The Star Riders had once again proved that no matter how far the galaxy stretched, no matter how many laws were broken, they would always be free, roaming the stars like true space cowboys.
Very nice. GPT kind of messed up on some of that stuff for the setting, but it was well performed, and I love the harmonica too.
Yeah.
I have one, but I can wait until after.
No, you go.
All right, so I take to the stage, and my eyes that normally, they already glow like starlight, but I make them glow a little bit more. I make myself look a little more astrally. I don't go totally into star shape, but I want to set the mood. I say, my friends, let me tell you a tale from my astral meditations, an experience that shaped me as much as any journey through the stars. It happened not long ago, while I drifted in the quiet solace of my trance, seeking clarity amidst the chaos of our endeavors. I found myself in the infinite silver expanse of the astral sea, weightless and unbound. The moons of my home plane shimmered above me, their light fracturing into beams that danced like fireflies. And then, as it happens in my trance, the moon jellies came, hundreds of them, glowing faintly, their translucent forms pulsing with ethereal energy. They sang, oh, how they sang. Not in words, but in a resonance that vibrated in my very soul. Each note felt like a story, and I couldn't help but follow. Their song carried me to a part of the astral sea I had never explored, where the starlight grew dim and deep swirling void stretched endlessly below. Suspended there, I saw what the jellies wanted me to see, a relic, perhaps an artifact even, hovering in the darkness, radiating faint strands of celestial light. It was like nothing I'd encountered before, a shard of crystal carved by no mortal hand. I reached out to touch it, but as my fingers brushed the surface, I felt a sudden surge of visions. I saw a vast city floating among the stars, its spires reaching endlessly upward, built not by mortals, but by the enigmatic world builders themselves. In its heart was a machine. No, not a machine, but a living entity, crafted from the same crystal as the shard before me. It thrummed with power, creating worlds with the mere pulse of its being. But then came the cults, with dark robes and whispered prayers. They sought to twist the machine's power, to create something monstrous. And then the vision shifted again. I saw the moon jelly surrounding the machine, their light weaving a protective barrier, singing their songs to keep it safe. The cultists could not touch the machine directly, but their whispers grew louder, their shadows longer. The jelly's light dimmed as they fought to shield it, and I understood why they called me here. The shard, they wanted me to take it, me to keep it safe, to ensure the cults would never gain the knowledge to unmake what the world builders had wrought. When I woke from my trance, the shard was no longer in the vision. It lay in my hand, pulsing faintly with the same ethereal energy as the moon jellies. I've kept it hidden ever since, unsure of its full purpose, but certain it is a key to our journey, to this mystery of the world builders and their works. Perhaps one day we'll find the machine itself, still guarded by the light of the jelly song. Until then, their melody guides me as if they're whispering secrets only I can hear.
A water genasi woman, full of piss and vinegar, she looks, pipes up as she steps towards the fire. You're a bunch of weaklings. I have heard better stories from my babushka. Allow me now to tell you of the story. Gather round, and let this old captain share her story from the depths of the Celestial Sea. I am Elara Thorn, captain of the Star's Respite, and let me tell you about the time I dared to chase the legendary Black Star. She throws some sort of substance into the fire. It flares up bright, illuminating wider area, making everyone's eyes squint for a moment as they adjust to this bright light. I was seasoned by the winds of 1,000 voyages, but even I felt the thrill of the unknown pulling me from the comforts of familiarity. I heard whispers, rumors of our unimaginable power that drew so many adventurers to their doom. All with the hubris of youth, I set out with my crew to find the star. So there we were, navigating the glimmering currents and floating asteroids of the Celestial Sea. As I steered her towards the astral abyss, the air thickened with tension, and the crew's bravado turned to harsh whispers as we crossed into the dark void. I could feel the ship trembling beneath me, the unseen currents of energy winding tighter, like a serpent ready to strike. Yet we pressed on, heart racing with the thrill of it. She draws her sword and begins sort of wildly swinging around as she talks through this next part. And then it happened! Bang! A surge of energy erupted from the abyss, a blinding light that transformed the void into a riot of color. The Black Star revealed itself, a swirling mass of raw energy and pale darkness that pulsed like a heartbeat. Ah, my friends, I admit, my heart pounded in my chest, a mix of exhilaration and trepidation coursing through my veins. Steady, crew! I shouted, seizing the helm with fierce determination. As we drew near, I reached out towards that incredible marvel, but before I could take hold, whoosh! The Black Star vanished as quickly and chaotically as it revealed itself. She sheathes her sword and sits down again. I lost the Black Star that day, and I've never seen it since. But in the time I came to understand that my true treasure was not just the power that eluded me that day, as it has so many others. The Black Star was not just a destination. It was a challenge and a lesson. A reminder that the greatest adventure lies not solely in conquesting the unknown, but in thrill of chase and bonds we forge while daring chase to those stars. Ah, my friends, always reach for the stars.
Oh, that was really good. That's the winner right there.
Good.
Anyone else? Vraviel, Korok? Very well. A shaved dwarven gentleman in a trench coat and a hat and a fedora takes a draw of his cigar and puts it out in the little glass tumbler he's got in front of him, chuckles to himself. Well, that's quite the enthusiasm you got there, kiddo. I don't know if I can top anything as energetic as that, but suppose it's my turn to tell my story nonetheless. He takes his hat off and throws it on the bench next to him, adjusts his tie to loosen it a little bit, cracks his neck. Well, my name's Victor Flint, and in my youth, I called the waters around the tumult my home. Glances up towards the sky. I was younger, full of vinegar and spite. Called myself a pirate in those days, and sailed under the colors of the golden ore. To set the scene, it was a murky night, fog hanging on the horizon like a haze of smoke in a corpo bar after quitting time, and my ship, the Storm Runner, was trolling through the flow between Drahiri and Darkwater. I'd gotten a lead on a cargo ship loaded with enough gold to paint a syndicate green. It was the Gleaming Crown, a real beauty in the moonlight. But in this dirty game, treasure isn't the only thing you gotta watch for. I ordered my crew to hold off attack until I signaled and took one of the runner's boats shuttle, sidled it up to the stern, and quiet as an ether mouse, docked out of sight on the Crown's crew. I slipped aboard that floating palace and expected to find a whole crew ripe for the picking. Instead, I ran smack into trouble in the form of Sir Robert Brightheart. A couple of people in the crowd are like, oh! He was a paladin, all decked out in armor that glinted like diamonds under the noon sun. I knew I was in over my head, a moth drawn to the flame. When our swords met, his gleaming like a spotlight, and mine as dull as a back alley that I crawled out of. Just when I thought I could pull out a win, he had me disarmed, laid out on the deck like a drunk cabin boy. I was thinking that this was my last scene, my final curtain call. But Brightheart, he had a different script in mind. He leaned down real close, his voice smooth like aged whiskey, and told me, I'll spare your life. You must turn your act around. Use your talents to help instead of haunt. He sits back down again, puts his hat on. Well, tough words for a man like me, but beneath my stubborn pride there was a flicker of something. Perhaps the soft glow of redemption. I gave it a long, hard thought. He lights up another cigar. All right, Paladin, I told him. I swear it. I'll set my sails towards brighter shores. So there I was, once a pirate, now trying to pass for a good guy. I rededicated my ship as the second chance and gave my men a chance to jump ship at the next port. My remaining crew and I, we became guardians of sort, sailing through stormy nights, rescuing souls tossed round in the capricious waters near the tumult, a far cry from what I knew. We delivered food and supplies, patching up broken lives like a venerated tailor patching up a well-worn coat. But old habits don't die easy. Sometimes the lure of treasure would shimmy up to me like a dame looking for a dance partner. Every time it slipped into my mind, I remembered Sir Breitbart's words, a reminder of where I came from and what I stood to lose. I shot at redemption. He takes a long drag puff and then is sort of looking up wistfully as he finishes. So here I am, still the same captain, but navigating in a new direction. If you see the second chance cutting through the mist, know that I'm out there helping those in need, training the dark deeds for deeds that shine like gold. His flask passes back around to him and he lifts it up. Here's to second chances, and to the stories still waiting to unfold in the inky black. He takes another swig. Looks like our winner is Moon Jellies! Alright, Furiosa.
That makes me happy. Thank you.
You've done it. You won by a margin. Actually, you beat out the next highest one by 2.
Ooh.
Second place was a tie between Tycho and Alara.
This is bullshit. This game is rigged. No one appreciates art.
All right, let's tell her what she's won. Furiosa, you have won the Witty Retort, a pair of well-cared-for glasses. While they offer no vision correction, they do allow you to identify the weak points in an opponent's argument, granting you the opportunity for a perfect comeback. When equipped and attuned, you can cast Counterspell at 4th level as a reaction on a target within sight that is casting a spell. If you successfully counter a spell in this manner, that creature that casts the spell takes 2d4 psychic damage from your cutting remarks.
Oh, that's so
Nice.
perfect for me, though. Thank you. I appreciate this.
The Helping Hands as a company has received overall 4th place. Sorry, your company did not receive a trophy this year. 4th
Aw.
place in game wins, so you are not honored at the closing ceremonies. However, as a runner-up, all participants, all runners-up are granted a prize for money, you spent, you put in an effort. As a participation trophy, the Aetherwave Merchant Beacon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Unfortunately, you are not recognized in any other exceptional manner for your contributions and participations. Actually, rewinding just a tad. After that storytelling, did you guys met some captains there?
Yeah.
Who were you thinking about talking to?
I feel like Victor Flint might be the easiest to persuade because his whole thing was about he was a bad dude and then he turned his life around, and that's kind of our business.
Absolutely.
Right, so Victor Flint, what are... Hi there, can I help you with something? He pulls his jacket up against the non-existent wind as he takes a puff of smoke.
Need a ship and a good captain to pilot it. Bunch of good here. It says you're willing to help us.
I have to say, I can't resist a good berry. You seem like the sort of man who can really hook me up with such a thing.
That was a fine story, friend. Many of us have stories of that like our own. You ever hear of the Helping Hands?
The Helping Hands, huh? I think I've heard a tale or two about your exploits here and there. There's a number of people that have found their way onto my ship one way or another who had me ferry them out here for the express purpose of talking to the Helping Hands. You wouldn't happen to be them, would you?
Yeah, we're the Helping Hands, and we're really good at flow ball, too.
It's true.
I can hear.
You do have ears.
I may have caught back row seats to your little exploits there at the last couple games of the tournament. Quite impressive, I have to say. So, you're looking for a captain and a ship, and to what end were you thinking about employing my services, which is why I assume you're talking to me.
We're undertaking an investigation for the retrieval of some items for the Commonwealth. And other than that, we are not at liberty to say exactly.
I see.
Everything above the law, of course.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's got a thick old gossip stone ring, and he holds it out. Let's share contact information, and I'll be in touch after the celebrations.
Well, that sounds amazing.
Kink. Contact shared.
Yeah, we just just clink rings.
Yeah, that you touch gossip stones together. That's how you trade contact.
I love that. I'm definitely keeping it on my ring and not like a tongue ring or anything.
Right, so you have a talk with Vic, and he's all like, I'll talk to you later after the thing. And then after the thing, the festivities happen, you're like, aw, dang it, we didn't win. We didn't place in the thing. Shucks, well, we did get a prize. And Gideon is like, after putting in all that work and all the nagging I was doing, and still we didn't take home a prize, and he's jabbering as you guys are headed after the parade at the closing ceremonies. He's jabbering, and then suddenly you guys realize that the jabbering has faded into silence. And slowly that silence is replaced by the eerie tone of a calliope in the distance. As you look around, you realize it is true, Gideon is gone. You are back in this strange, non-Euclidean space that you were in on the eve of the Celestial Confluence. Down the path lies the circus tent.
I think, we should walk in this time, though. It would only be, proper, appropriate, good etiquette.
Welcome in! It's good to see you all again. I trust that you have what I'm looking for.
We believe so.
Well then, hand them over.
He waves a hand over you guys, and you feel the magic. You feel the loss of your inventory items as he wisps them out of your possession and back to whatever plane, whatever fractured reality they came from.
Well, a deal's a deal. Even though you weren't able to completely clear out all the ones that were hanging around, you certainly earned yourselves 2 questions, I'd say. So, what do you have to ask?
Okay, Genie! Where's the location of the 2 remaining artifact pieces? Need to okay.
There's 4 remaining artifact pieces. Which ones are you talking about?
Those four actually. Yep.
All 4 of them?
I thought you said we knew where 2 of them were.
Sure. Well, there's one on Vytern. In the hands of a pirate lord, mean and fierce. Of course, there's one in the Corporate Alliance. Those smog-ridden smarty pantses and Vol, they have it. It looks like there's one hidden on the ruins of Oleon, along with another important artifact of, not related. Anyway, and of course there's one on Krakatur in the mausoleum of someone named Nazardin. I don't know who that is.
Thank you. What was that name again?
Oh, Nazardin.
Nazardin. Thank you. Krakatur. Thank you.
Krakatur. Ruins of Oleon. Corporate Alliance.
What does the high-tech den, that weird guy that we met in that big library, and he hates dogs, like, what does the high-tech den want with Varaviel's polyhedron?
Oh, well, the polyhedron, it's complicated. What does he want with it? He wants it to help open the gate.
Oh.
Hey.
That's another question.
Fucking nice.
Thank you.
Of course, if you have any further questions, I'd be more than happy to share the information with you.
Nope.
For what price?
Nope, I'm out.
I don't decide the price. The price comes by channeling the knowledge. I've paid the price for you guys twice now. Taking on that knowledge by yourselves has repercussions. Consider those the price.
I appreciate the sacrifice that you have made on our behalf.
Thank you, kind sir.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for cleaning up this little bit of a mess the multiverse made. If there's nothing further, enjoy your time!
Can we contact him at later dates?
Bad idea.
He could be a powerful ally.
Bad idea.
He could be a powerful pain in the
Waves
ass.
at you guys as the world around you rushes away. You rush past. You're suddenly outside the tent. The alleyway rushes away until suddenly the black is rushing behind you. And then the next thing you know,
Lynx relaxes a bit and takes the hand off his trigger.
you wake up in your offices.
Wow.
How does he know where we
That
live?
guy's powerful.
What will the information that you've just gained help you? When will Vic Flint reach back out to you. And what exciting discoveries await you with this new information and allies? Find out on the next exciting episode of the Tales from Tenrei. Oh, like, subscribe, donate, all the thing. I forgot to say it. I'll edit it in later. Let me tell you about the Aetherwave Merchant Beacon.